you've been listening in live there, that is HHS Secretary, now RFK Jr. He is speaking to Vice President J.D. Vance. This summit is examining ways to get Americans on a healthier path and looking at a variety of options to accomplish that goal. Correspondent Libbey Dean is live for us in Washington with more details. So, Libbey, what can we expect out of this event?
Well, Nichole, you heard some of it there from the vice president saying it's time to change the status quo here when it comes to Americans' health care. And we know the summit already underway here in D.C. You just heard from the vice president there, one of the attendees. But we're also going to hear from comedians, also race car drivers who are going to attend this summit. It's all aimed at attracting independent voters to that movement ahead of the midterm elections. Now, headlining today's events, as you heard there, the vice president and HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. all speaking during that fireside chat. And all of this is focused really on pushing forward the Make America Healthy agenda. Other big names include Medicare and Medicaid Administrator Dr. Oz, FDA Commissioner Marty Makary, UFC President Dana White, race car driver Danica Patrick, and executives from Regeneron, Walmart, Google, Neuralink. So quite the lineup there. We're also going to hear from comedian Russell Brand. He's also expected to take the stage just before Kennedy closes out this event here today. Now, the summit is centered upon the Trump administration's idea, and you just heard it there from the vice president, of reshaping America's health and wellness landscape. They're also going to talk about ultra-processed foods, of course, a big concern among a lot of Americans, and obesity and the role that all plays in when it comes to the healthcare industry. Nichole.
Yeah, so Libbey, speaking of obesity, overall health, can we expect to hear more on the weight loss drugs that have gotten the administration's attention?
Yeah, certainly, Nichole. This is likely one of the things that is going to be touted during today's summit. That deal that President Trump recently announced that slashed the cost of obesity drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic. Now, the administration has said that the price of Ozempic and Wegovy will fall from that sometimes $1,300 price tag. When purchased through Trump RX, though, it will be priced at $350. That's all according to the president. Now, the HHS secretary who was at this announcement and also is speaking now there on the stage, he labeled obesity as the biggest factor in health issues here in America. That's what we just heard from there. Here's his previous comment.
If we want to solve the chronic disease crisis, we have to tackle obesity. Obesity is the #1 driver of chronic disease. 50% of our adult population are obese or overweight, and it drives about 50% of healthcare costs in this country.
And President Trump previously said that Americans could see their weight loss drug prices lowered as soon as January of next year. That all coming on his platform, Trump RX. But as we've seen, Nichole, this summit already underway now. Really, the main portion of this is to attract those independent voters to the MAHA movement ahead of those midterms. But quite the lineup there. Nichole?
All right. Libbey Dean live for us there in D.C. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.